Wow, look at that. This was given to me just last night. Uh-oh, red. I don't want to see any red. Okay, let's do a quick speed test. I don't want to see any red. That's just not right. You know, it seems like it gets red when I go to pull something up. So, look at that. What's going on now? That's not right. That's not right. Okay, I'm going to stop the video over there. See, this, I just tested it, and it was giving me such a better response, but it's still green, so I'll just keep talking. I just don't understand this speed test. It's just ridiculous. We'll try that again if we keep getting red. Oh, too bad, because you know what? I was on Reddit. Speaking of red, right? There's Reddit, and Reddit had, is it Reddit? Yeah, Reddit, the Atlantis Reddit. I found myself given this KMT by Better Peanut. Whoops, can't do it that way. Let's just open it this way. Better Peanut gave me the KMZ. Did I say KMT? The KMZ file. So here we go. I mean, this is not found by me, but I can tell you that in addition to what you see here, you see a lot more than just these markings. These are one dot on a long canal, so it's kind of hard to say. Now you might say, oh, this is not near the Richat structure. Well, let's just focus on the Tamanrasset ancient Paleo River, right? And by the way, I learned these new terms, got that from here. Let's go through a few images. I was watching this interesting video sent to me by another, by the way, once again, Better Peanut is the Reddit name of the person who gave me this collection of finds, and I've looked in that area, so I found myself getting lost in a lot of stuff, and I'll talk about that soon, but I never saw that many canals because I just wasn't patient enough. So this is Geomad's recent video. You know, I really want to do another speed test. If somebody's chatting, give me a thumbs up or a 1 or whatever. Where's my sound? Oh, I gotta play it. See, I usually patient enough. Okay, that's good enough. I just wanted to hear my sound. I probably could put the microphone a little closer to me, but this was from a video that I watched, and it just pointed out the way that the Tamanrasset would have looked. Of course, it's so wide here. That's not true. In fact, there would have been quite a delta here, and I do have a picture of that as well. I mean, that's just a mock-up. But let's go to the next picture. Yeah, there it is right there. And the main point with this, and I didn't make this either, but you can see down there the real waterways that exist nowadays. So this actually is probably where that came from, that other image that I showed you. You can see the existing modern day waterways. Now, why this one here dries up? Well, what I see here is that it's gathering from a mountain source. It's flowing, but it just never makes it to the ocean. It gets absorbed into the land first. That's down here. And if you don't know where this is, well, you can see the little thing right there. But what is being said here is that if you were at the mouth of it says here, the lost Tamanrasset River, the X shows the furthest a Neolithic sailor could see. What was that, 17 miles? It says at 2 meters above sea level, the horizon is 5 kilometers away. That doesn't sound right, to be honest. I think it's a little more like 17. This is the mouth of the Amazon. Okay, rotated 180 degrees. So we're just flipping around the Amazon. But it's claiming that you can only see 5 kilometers. So, I mean, it's making a great point, but I think it's losing its logic when it says 5 kilometers. If you're standing on the shore at a top of a 100-foot hill, you might be able to see across the whole thing. So let's just not forget that. But if you are at sea level, he says 5 kilometers. That doesn't sound right. I think you can see more like 17 miles, I thought. I thought that was the rule, 17 miles. So, anyways, here we see that he's claiming you don't even see the land here if you were in the Amazon standing at ocean level. And I don't know, I'd have to see how far. That says right there 10 kilometers there. So, By the way, I started first thing this morning because I got permission from Better Peanut to show his stuff. So I'm going to show it because that's the way I work. But before I do, I did want to... Okay, so we've got a couple other things here. Atlas Mountains, the Hogar Highlands over here. Hogar Highlands, I didn't use that. What it's showing you is the different lakes. Okay, now if you don't know what this is, it's because I haven't shared it, but that is me. I do not look good in a beard. I'm going to start shaving my beard when I appear publicly, but that's Randall Carlson, and this is a video of him not really scolding me, but yeah, putting me in my place regarding some stuff, regarding the Richat structure, you know, and it's not like I confronted him or anything. He already knew about some videos I did. He hadn't seen them, and I still don't think he has seen them. But I just want to say that that is a future video that I don't know about the legalities of showing it. But, okay, I got to get out of here. Let's get back to here. And, yeah, you've got a cluster of stuff here. It's not just canals. And that's what got really frustrating for me mentally. And I'm going to take this, get rid of that, and get into here. Because this is the actual KMZ file. Now, if I can move this over, I will. And what we should talk about first is the direction of the flow of the Taman Reset, which I always thought was a natural for right through here. But according to what we see, it loops up over this area here and then comes back down and comes out right here. Hard to believe from what you see in Google Earth. It just, there are some control issues here. Look at that line right there. You see a lot of other lines. This is higher. The sand is, I believe, a little lower and also in some places flowing over. But you can see the Adrar Plateau. I found some stuff over here that I thought was really interesting and said it's time to go there and check it out at the geometric lines that are in there. And you can see them in the sand right here. This is not, actually you can't see it here because this is Google Earth Pro. And I usually don't use that. I usually have to go even to away from Google Earth and even the website version of it. But if you go there, you'll see a bunch of lines just like I've shown you. Now, he's not focusing on any canals over here. There's no canals, but you see a couple up here. Let's go up here first. And I do want to say that I used to wonder if this was not a berm. And I still could say that. Now, this we see, it is a berm. I mean, it's a canal, actually. You can see the curvature of this canal here. Now, this is quite long, and it goes around this whole structure. And that's why I don't think it was water. But along it, you have these weird short canals all along. So I wouldn't call it modern day, but I would say that it's possible it was made in the last few hundred years. This canal, see, there's another one. This canal, I have seen this before, but I wrote it off. Now, this person says it's a canal. This undisclosed person in an undisclosed location. If you get in there, though, you can still see the curvature, and in some cases, you see a little bit of bedrock sticking out. I don't know. That doesn't really look like it would have held up. Here you see these lines there. Those lines, I can show you better versions of that. Also signify to me bulldozer marks. Now, I'm not going to write this guy's work off yet. Trust me, I'm not. Because there's plenty more to see. I'm just saying that this is an interesting line. Okay, so here you can see very clearly bulldozer lines. So this berm was created modern day. Now, look at that inside there. That's a different story. So is that a river? I mean, is that river older? Yes, you can see the effects. And then you see that it's stopping here. So I would say this line is a lot older. Now, that is a road, modern day. So this little mining town, there's an airport right there, has a lot of modern day stuff going on. So this canal, while it looks like it definitely goes around the whole structure. You can follow it yourself. And here I also took a look at all this. This one is kind of hard to make out, but you do see, I mean, and how wide is that? Let's get the where is the how do you do a measure? I don't even know how to do it in Google Earth. Okay, so that's why I have handy this other version. And I can find that pretty quick, I think. Where was that? Up here somewhere? There's plenty more where that came from too, by the way. Let me just move this where I can see it. I'll move it back because that's the main one. Why am I here? Because I just don't really... okay, I guess it's really close. Okay, right there. It's very easy once you find it. Now I know how to measure it. Okay, so that's a fifth of a mile. 1,000 feet. 1,000 and what? 80 feet? Oh no, I'm wrong. 1,156 feet. But then this has different lengths. Okay, done. We can... I mean, I don't even know what I'm looking at here because to me, one other thing you can that really answers questions is when you go into 3D mode and follow it. Now you can see it even stretches out. We were in the Western Sahara now. It stretches out to this structure. And that structure seems to have something going on over there. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into what we're looking at, whether or not, I mean, it looks like a wall, which could have been on top of it a canal. If I go across the top, that's 26 feet. That's more of a road or a wall. But it's, you can find other stuff out here, and stuff that looks like it moved water. Now, I don't know if that's even on his chart, because there's a lot of actually better stuff. Let me show you. There's all sorts of stuff. This is interesting. Let's get back to the Google Earth Pro KMZ file. Can I make it shorter? I'll put this over here for my use. Maybe I'll find stuff before showing it to you rather than go searching. Okay, where are we standing here now? Let's back out and see. Over here, I want to save that for last. That's actually kind of interesting, but it's a little confusing as well. Let's go down here and look at these canals. And these are clear cut, in my opinion, cut through canals. Seriously, you can follow it down to about there, and then you're like, where? Well, let's go back up. And there it starts. And by the way, what's the width on that? See, this is why I should have this in advance. I gotta back out a little bit to figure out where I'm at. Thank God for this KMZ file. See, that's the thing. Taking the time. It's not just one person anymore. We all have to do it. We all have to figure out. Okay, I'm just doing two things at once here. Yeah, there it is. You know, it's kind of funny because it turns into, I'm just looking at it here, it turns into part of the natural wash right here. So, like, that's 167 feet wide. That is a significant canal. And when you follow it up, you can see where it cuts through bedrock. Now, it is filled with sand. And one of the other things that you see, there's a road, always see trees growing in the path of the canal. It's an easy way. Now, here, up here, we have all this larger areas where there was some type of a water flow. But backing out, you can see the straight line. Probably flowed right up through here. And then what next? It disappears. It's still pretty exciting. You still have some trees right there. You still see kind of a line right there. Maybe that was it. Maybe not. Maybe it turned. I don't know, because these canals are not very straight. But they're clearly, and by the way, I'm finding all sorts of them around here. So I believe that this was a whole farming area. All right, we're getting a little red. Let me see what the speed test says before I continue. I just kind of can't believe that it's slows down so much when I live stream. I guess that's what's happening, because I just tested this before I started, and it was like, yeah. Well, at least the upload's above 1. Anyways, I don't know. I think that it's showing a false report too, but I am getting green now, so we're safe. So this whole area, you start to see canals. Look at this cut through here. and how you can follow it, and it's cut through there. These canals are not even on the file. They're just freshly found. Whoops, you know what? I just messed up. I closed my Google Earth. Let me just open that back up and put it somewhere else. So, as you can see, this is probably the same canal in my opinion here, but you can see a bunch of other likely candidates for canals. Starting here, going up to the other one where he's marked it. You can kind of see some other lines there, but there it is again. And yeah, it reappears, and not just there, you also have this thing. You know, every ridge is suspect at this point because there's left turns, right turns. This canal goes quite far. I don't want to measure it right now. I think I'll leave that measuring stuff behind. We've seen different widths up to almost 200 feet wide. See, look at that one right there. You start to see stuff everywhere. And I'm not going to claim that's a canal, but you see this line going through. Is it a wall? Is this a canal? When you see double lines, you kind of suspect that it could be, but you see different levels of canals, like some that are embedded in the bedrock and others that are built up on a wall, at the top of a wall, and some that are 165 feet wide and the others that are only 60 or 25 even I've seen. So, you know, you've got all different types of canals. Some of them might even be after the fall of Atlantis, and I say that with the 12,600 year cataclysm date that even Plato mentioned. Okay, so let's get back to this. What does he see? Some of these, okay, there you go. It starts to appear, right? And it's so clear. And yeah, I think that's a fair grab at a canal. I don't know what happened to it down here, but it seems like you have other ones over here going on as well. Like, how far apart is this? This is, see, it doesn't even show a legend. It's kind of, I want to view, let's see, view, legend. Where is my scale legend? There. Thank you. What else can we view in Google Earth? I never use it. The grid? I don't think I need a grid right now. Historical imagery, now that's a different story. We can do historical imagery. That's the best part about, see? There you go. 1985 proves nothing. 2013 proves a lot more. Okay, so we see this line again. Let's follow it up as far as we can. You know, there's something going on over here as well. And that's what's the problem with this whole area is there's so many different lines, and you kind of wonder, like when you see over here these black lines, what are those, roads? Are those are geological strings, or I don't know what you call those, because they're definitely not volcanic dikes. They go like somebody took a pencil and scribbled all over the page, and I already lost my canal. Is that it right there? So we got the canal. Sometimes backing out will help you find it again, but I'm not seeing it. Yeah, definitely one of the things that slows down the computer is me moving around in Google Earth. I usually don't use Google Earth, do I? No, I don't have any way to open up KMZ files on Google Earth web or browser or Chrome, I don't use other Google Earths. So these things, these black things sticking out seem to be, and look, is that a bedrock right there? So because of that, the sand didn't cover up what's on the east side of it, west side of it. Okay, what's that? So you got a lot of these weird lines scribbled all over, like I don't even want to say what they are. We're almost there. I'll show you. So here we are now. You're starting to see them. But first, let's go in there and take a look at the canal. Now, is this 2013? Let's see if we can get a better one here. 2016. No, that didn't really... Wait, kinda? Maybe? So we have three. We have 2016. We have this one, 2010. That's actually kind of nice, right? It's kind of a nice shot. So you can see what looks like a canal. It's not straight. It's going in one direction, but I wouldn't call that straight. So maybe it's a little bit inferior to some of the canals that I see in the Adrar Plateau. And because of that, I say maybe that means that it's post 12,600 years ago. But that's a lot of canals, and there's more than he shows. I found so many more last night before I went to bed. The clusters are up there, but let's take a look here, and we want to make sure we're using. Let's go with the latest photos, 2020. Not saying that means it's the best, but it at least will. See, look at all those lines, and it's like, what's old, what's new? Well, this is what I used for the thumbnail for, and what I see is that you've got the canal going through these older black lines. Now, do I think these black lines have any naturality to them? Possibly, but I also suspect that they're the remnants of something creating those lines. But right now we're not looking at those lines. We're looking at canals going through these older lines. And because of that, see, you always find houses and they're so small compared to these canals and roads. You can see a road there. You can see a road there. When I say road, I mean tire track. And here's another one right there. So he only marked one of these, but there's 3 of them sitting right there, going through these older lines and even disappearing. Look at that one, jerks over there. And still maybe the tectonic plates, or I shouldn't say tectonic plates. What I should say is the fault lines have changed slightly. Like, see there, it looks like it broke away. So like this land could have been pushed that direction. You don't really see it happening right there, though. I don't know. I don't understand why they're so jagged and broken up. Because they're not canals! Maybe not. Maybe there's another explanation that I'm not seeing. So we're good. Let's take a look at that one, though. That to me, it seems incredible because you've got these double-sided grooves, and you could probably go and change the dates. Look at this one right here. How it changes. That's very interesting, huh? That one splits off, clearly splits off. I mean, how is that natural? And you can see it over there, thin and straight, and over here, nice and kind of straight. These are sand dunes on top of them. Sand dunes are covering it up, but they're also filled with sand. But what we're seeing is like a bedrock, or maybe they built up some kind of a artificial side to them. And you can see them everywhere. You don't even have to go back and look for the KMZ markers. So, I guess one criticism about KMZ pinpoints is it doesn't follow the line. Here, are we looking at a possible canal, or are we just looking at more black lines? Are the black lines remnants of older canals that flattened out over time, over millions of years, and giants were the ones that did those, and humans did the other ones? I say giants because of the stuff that I've seen in South Africa. If it's not giants, it's very, very advanced humans. Or aliens. Them's aliens, huh? Okay, so now we got into a really, really old picture. It just amazes me. And did we see everything there was to see? Let's go over here and look at these. Okay, wow. Nice shot. But it seems like we see more than one canal. Like what's going on over here? Like, was it just full of water? Like, were they taking advantage of the Tamanrasset River? I'm just going to go through the timeline bar and see what older pictures look like. That looks like the same picture. That's 1985. That's not going to work. So we have 2015 and 2016. I think 2015 looks better to me. Look at that. Look at that. That's a nice shot right there. I like that. You know why? Because it shows an intersection of some sort. You've got the exact same width. We have the bar down here, so we can go down and tell you how big that is. It's We can make it larger. Let's make it as large as the legend itself. All right, there you go. About 175 feet. And then if you rotated it 90 degrees, you're going to get the other side about the same, right? 175. Well, it says 73. There's no precision here. Canal meat. Oh, yeah, he's got it marked right there. I didn't even see that. All right, so we've got, what, 1 or 2? Canal and canal meat. So they definitely put some good effort to it. I don't know why that didn't show up a minute ago. Looks like there's a 2 or 3. I can't tell. All right, where was I? We saw these? We saw these down here? Let's go down and take a quick look. Make sure I didn't already see them. Wow, thanks for those thumbs up. Yeah. And when you follow these, that gets a little wider. Wow, what's going on there? But then it skinnies out, cuts through, goes over this direction. And how big is this? This is this one. And by the way, I'm just going to rotate it. That way I can put it right on top of the chart. This one here shows about 1/4 of 236. So at least 50 feet wide. That's what I've been saying. About 60 actually is what I've noticed for some of them. And I'm talking about the ones in South Africa. I'm not really talking about ones around the Richat. There you have it. It's going through these other ridges, and then it disappears into the... Oh, there it is. You've got these other weird lines. Look at that weird perpendicular shot right there. You think that's natural? It goes there. Where's the rest of it? Maybe comes down here. We see a little bit of something. Here. Did he already mark that? Did we already see that one? Yeah, so you've got these black lines going across, and they definitely feel wrong. You know, it's like, how did that form in a natural environment? And when you get up to this cluster that I was saving for last, let me see if there's any other areas that I should talk about before we get... So I think we talked about all those. We talked about those. So now we're just up here. Now this is actually the Western Sahara. And when we get in there, it just turns into black line chaos. And it's like, what's natural? What's fault line? We see something that looks like river beds. Let's go to the bottom here. And actually, maybe we should go to the top. I think that there's one thing I can show you first, which I recognize. It's right there. Because I found this without... Before he gave me the KMT map, KMZ file, I just had this. So I was looking at this and trying to find stuff using that, and I found that up there easily because of that. And that one impressed me. And it's right... Where is it? It's right there. And when you go in, you can see this... Wait, why am I not getting... I got a little lost here. Hold on. Is it something different? Oh, it's up... It's there. Is that it up there? So I got lost. So we'll just go with... Let's look at the ones that we find. So canal wall, canal wall. And it's taking a long time, but it's green. We're green. Okay, so we're give. Oh, by the way, what you see there is one of Anthony's eyes of Sahara, and it's kind of funny that they usually put them on a mountain top. So it's kind of funny that it meets this line, which turns into kind of a canal, and you can follow it down. Is it a wall? Is it a canal? And were they done at the same time? You know, these older looking things, these older looking structures, to me look like... Oh, look how you can have the cut through right there through the stone. See, when you see this, then you say, yeah, I've seen that before. It looks like it's the mouth of some canal. But that's not what brought me over here, you know. And you kind of see these lines over here. They look like they could have been older canals or something, and they're going perpendicular to each other. You know, if you get them lined up, they're pretty perpendicular. So there is some type of an ancient grid being demarcated here. But let's focus on what we've got. Look at that line. Seems like all these, look at that. What's going on there? It looks like that's a big old groove going through there. I mean, you have a shadow. I don't know. One problem with Google Earth is I still have to scroll. Okay, where's that one that I lost? I have it right here. Let me just do it one more time. It's right. I think it's... Okay, I guess let's just double check these. So I already looked at these. There's that one. Looked at that. There's that one. I don't know what he's saying that is. It's got to clear up. See if I've got any sound. That's the main problem, is the sound issue. See if I've got any sound. That's good enough. It sounds clear. I've got a green light. Okay, we've already been here. Yeah, my finger's getting tired going through these, zooming in and zooming out. I have to, it's like playing a video game. I'm going to change hands for a while. Let me try using my left hand. So that's isn't that the one we saw? This is the top of the mining structure, right? Oh, yeah. That's definitely the top of the mining structure. So we're done with over here. This is Frederick. Let's get, I guess I'm probably talking about one of these two. But I'm not seeing it. Anyways, well, I can find it a different way later. Let's look at all these one by one. And I guess if you really want to get this file, you can talk to me. I don't have a lot of viewers today, so let's see how... I think I might need to change my thumbnail. My thumbnail sucks. So these are a little boring, but what you do is you get in there to see if it turns into a double line like this. So, and to me, this one, and how close are we here? Let's measure that. This one's pretty thin, right? This one looks like it's not even 25 feet wide. So the thing you have to, and I'm looking down here, 77 feet divided by 2 is 35 plus 4, and then we got 39 foot, and so this is like basically 20 foot. Maybe we changed the date and looked at that a different day. I mean, it's pretty faint, and to me that means it's kind of in the sand, flattened out. Maybe the ridges are there. That's interesting. That's 2020. In fact, that's the latest one right there. Maybe we should be looking at the latest one. Or maybe that's why I'm not finding the one that I was looking for, because I was looking at the wrong year. Let's go in here. Thought that this was it. Oh, we saw this already. See, you're seeing parallel canals too. Look at that line and this one. Like, just, and how far apart are they? This is 6,000 feet. That's just a little bit more than a mile, and almost a mile and a quarter. So if you're using this chart between, that's a mile apart. And then this one is about a half a mile apart. Let's go over here to this little cluster and see what we can... Did we already look at this? Is this what we saw already? That's kind of looks like what we were looking at earlier. And this is really thin, right? This is really thin. That's like not even 10, 20 feet wide. I think those are about 20. So look at the dirt on top of that. You can see the dirt and the trees growing on top of that older line. And another thing is this line here is dark on top of it. So which one's older? You know, before we were seeing these canals breaking those lines apart, and now we're seeing the darker line actually covering. And here's another one. So these, what we're looking at right now, these so-called canals are probably pretty damn old. I think that there's different time periods here. Probably a lot of grass, a lot of forest, and let's just call these the ancient lines. It's going underneath these sand dunes. You're seeing that one very long and double lined. I mean, there's a lot of canals here that he didn't mark, obviously, and it's a big job. So that's why we all need to do it together. I mean, when you see the two lines come up, and then you see this one here, is that an ancient riverbed? Well, it looks like it's part of a canal structure, but you've also got these black lines crossing it. That looks like maybe it came through, sediment came through on this other canal and just stayed there. You seem to see something leaving. Are they walls? Are they? Maybe this was very flat land. It looks flat. So these little ridges were built as directional, and I believe that it's possible these ridges, these black, so many of them, thousands of them, maybe even a million of them. You kind of see some directional lines there too, right there, and it looks like it's cutting. It's just awfully straight is all I'm saying. It's awfully straight, and it seems like you can see that line go all the way down there. But that's not part of this, is it? It goes down further, and we're going down into these older ones again. These are definitely some older ones, but look at that. And you can see it's different from the black lines at that point. And then it gets covered in sand. Oh, no, there it is. And that is, if you take it down to the scale, it's about 45 foot wide, maybe a little less, maybe 40 foot wide. Look at this one here. That's a little tiny one. And that one's like 20 foot wide. So there's definitely something going on here near the Tamanrasset. I think it's exciting stuff when people send me stuff like that. I definitely get into the rabbit hole, and I can't even talk and narrate my videos. Look at that. There's a modern day road, and when I say road, I mean tire tracks. And for some reason that he's following, what he's done there is he's driving on top of the ridge. So this black part, which is probably not the real color, this looks like a negative. This black part is a ridge that's higher than the sand. So he's driving up there to avoid having to drive on softer sand. So this black line is not much higher, and it seems like it's going, oh wait, now look at this. This line looks like it goes over it and then comes back down. You're getting perpendicular lines here. If you turn this like that, you're seeing 1, 2, 3 parallel. That looks like a canal. That looks like a canal. It's cutting through there. This one looks like a wall. There's only one ridge there. And then across this you've got a parallel ridges or parallel. I mean, just so much stuff is going on. You don't know what the heck happened here. Even if it's natural, what happened? How did that happen? That's why I have a hard time believing, even though it is quite extensive and complex. Look at this one. Again, double lines cutting through. Follow. Can you follow it to the Atlantic Ocean? Well, what I think here is it's probably agriculture, and it's clustered around the ancient Tamanrasset River, and therefore it was getting served by that river. It was using that water. And if you don't think that you can use water that's downhill, I have a cousin who brings water from a small creek up about maybe even 200 feet, more than 100 foot, using several different solar panels and pumps. That was a while. So yeah, there you go. I mean, I don't think that I can zoom into every single one of these. And I think that if you went in there, look at that one. If you went in there yourself, you'd find something that I haven't even seen. So this is why we probably have to do this again, and we're going to follow it. Whoops. Potential spam. Let's just test this potential opportunity. Hello? No? Nobody's there? Hello? Nobody's there. It's that ringtone. They hung up on me. So now I just confirmed to the spammers this is a good phone number. This is why you probably shouldn't even answer those calls. Anyways, I don't usually answer them. See, that looks like a canal there too. There's so many places that look like they're canals or riverbeds. That looks like a riverbed there, but there's so many waterways and riverbeds. And look at there. There's another possible canal. You don't even know what you're looking at anymore. And that's when I probably want to get away from Google Earth. Look at that one. Look at that. Comes right through there. If you don't think that this is possible, I do believe that is a little inferior to the Tibesti stuff that I've shown in the past. Go over here to the Tibesti Mountains. Right there, you see that eye, you see that nose? By the way, these dark features here are important. Every time you see a dark feature, zoom in on it and check it out, and you will find some crazy stuff. Look at this. This is a very famous place. I don't know what's going on there, but it's got a little ecosystem in there. It's got another mountain, it's got lakes, it's got trees, it's got a little ecosystem right here. I wonder if someone's in there living or if it's just an uninhabited place. You can see the stars reflecting on the lake. I'm just joking. Well, maybe it is the stars reflecting on the lake, but I doubt it. So all these dark, you can kind of see some roads going in there. People driving in there, kinda. But these sand dunes look like they've covered up the roads. And those sand dunes are dark sand dunes because that stuff, whatever volcanic rock turned into dust. Well, anyways, I'm talking about down here. And if you watched Jimmy's last video, he was looking at this. And I see sand blowing. I see sand blowing over features. That's a circular dike. I'm curious about that. I'm curious why Jimmy didn't even mention it. He was looking right at it. But then again, he never mentions my videos. He's so busy mentioning Nikki Anna Jones' video because it's the opposite side of the... Or not video, but she turned him on to some idea. But when you see stuff like this, I see this looks a lot more superior than what I showed you over there. So when you see this kind of work, you're talking about some real skill when it comes to either working the rock or talking about melting the rock. I don't know what they're doing to the rock, but it's definitely very uniform. And was there green all over it? You see these grids all around this area. That looks a little more maybe modern day or desertish, but look at the rocks there. Something was going on there. Just turning that north again. Everywhere you look, something was going on in this area. And of course, there's even this grid. Kind of shows that it was agricultural, most likely. I mean, I do believe there was a lot of influence for mining. When you see river lines going perpendicular to the river, you know that it's probably not natural. So what was going on here, where the water's coming from, I mean, I guess I should probably get a modern day water report. It looks like we've got something here, definitely green. So this is all over the world. It's not just here. So again, can't open the KMZ file here. We can zoom back out one more time to take a look at all of Better Peanuts' gift, New Year's gift, and I'm so happy to have received it. Thank you very much. I'm going to make a better thumbnail, or maybe this time of morning is just not good for doing live streams, but I was doing it now because I knew that the internet should be good. Thank you very much and have a great day.